Well, first I had a little Honda Trail 70 my dad bought me back in the day, and that was sort of my 13-year-old, you know, cruising up and down to the store, because we had dirt roads all around us, so I was a Trail 70 in the pasture, but my grandpa bought him to ride in the pasture. So it was
not off-road bike.
The worst. It was the worst. The whole time you're just like in the pasture, and he wouldn't let us ride him on the road. So it's kind of like, yeah. So all I did was we literally tore up these beautiful, you know, scooters out in the pasture. So when I turned, you know, I guess, you know, you can be 15 and ride in Oklahoma, but when we moved down to Florida to write our second record, that was when we're like, man, we oh no, I guess it'd be our third record before. Was it our third? No.
By the time we actually got him, we were writing this new record, When the World Comes Down. I remember when we first got our record deal, though, we were like, all right, we're all gonna go buy Vespas.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. So finally, yeah, you're right.
I bought a 1969 Vespa Sprint, and then Nick shortly after.
That's the one in the photo?
Yeah, bought his.
I got a new Vespa because I'm not very handy.
He's not clutchy.
Automobiles, yeah. And when I first learned to drive a car, I never learned to drive a stick. So I have no idea the concept of manual motors.
Well, so for the first 2 months, he'd have to stop about every 4 miles because I would foul out my plug a little too much from gas. I have a personal story why I don't ride scooters. One time I stole my dad's motorcycle, and it's a Honda 550, and I was about 150. Well, I guess I weighed actually probably more than I weigh now, but I was probably 5'8", and I had a passenger. And I'm cruising down this hill, and I let go of the handlebars, because I think, you know, it's just like a bicycle, right? Once you let go of the handlebars, it's just you driving with your waist, right?
Right.
Oh, that's not the case. The front end wobbled, and there was literally a moment where, you know, I saw, wow, I almost just killed us, or I just saved our lives by managing it, because it went into the wobble. It went into the wobble. There was that moment right before death and glory, and I managed to wrangle it back up, and then that was just too much power for me. Yeah. And so 150 cc's is enough for me. Gaylor's got a pretty serious, you got a 750, right?
Yeah, 750.
He's got a Ural.
Right, I've heard about it. It's a sidecar?
Yeah.
See, I like that, because you guys are not going with the mainstream at all. I mean, how's that Ural working for you?
That's awesome. You can take it out. Like I take it, you know, like in the pasture by my house. It gets really muddy. I can just take it on, kick on the 2-wheel drive, and make circles. And my dog loves it. I just pat the sidecar seat, and he jumps in. And he's ready to go. So I'll take him on a cruise around the neighborhood.
Does he have the helmet and the scarf yet?
Nah, doggy-sized helmet.
I picture that every time you talk about the bike.
The passion that you guys have for scooters and 2 wheels, has that spilled over into your music at all? Is there?
I think, especially when writing the record, Nick and I had a lot of sort of getaway time that was on, like when sort of, you know, the record's titled When the World Comes Down for a good reason. When our world sort of seemed to, you know, loosen up and sort of slip away from us, we would jump on our scooter and, you know, sort of finish a chorus or finish a verse. I used to run back in the day, but it seems like running sort of was replaced with scooting for me down in Florida, because it's like I am at my happiest I've ever been, and that includes rock and roll when I'm on a scooter. People that are just as obsessive about hogs and Harleys and just big motorcycles, I think there's just the same sort of fever for scooters, and especially like we got these Honda Ruckuses, and everybody seems to be souping these up, and they're ridiculous when you get the fire going on those things. But that's another thing. It's good to be able to sort of work on something with your hands. You're like, wow, I'm taking this carburetor apart, I'm cleaning it up, and now it's gonna run again. It's like you feel a lot more self-sufficient than when you have a computer ran motorcycle.
He's right. They're kind of our only escape. You know, I mean, we're fortunate enough to get to do this for a living, play music and write music, but when we were writing When the World Comes Down, that's really all there was to do, was write music. And there were times where it started to feel like work and a job, and these were our escape, you know.
And you hear the bells of glory.
And there was a time when we were all four down in Florida, we were almost there. It was like right on the cusp of being ready to finally go into the studio, and there was a lot of times where between Tyson and I, we had, I guess, 4 scooters down there, so we would all get on there and
went for a cruise.
Right up to the...
Well, I think especially with the way the modern, you know, sort of car is sort of advancing, it seems like it's getting lazier and lazier for the person to actually operate it. And so it's just, when you can jump on a 2-wheeled machine and feel like you are controlling it, there's a lot more, feel like you have a lot more authority in the world.
Yeah.